Hello and welcome back to a kooky corner of YouTube. Today I'm drowning in whips. The whips I'm talking about are the works in progress, and I'm going to go through them with you and show you how far I am, because I know some people are very curious as to where I'm up to with some of the things that I'm doing. And so I will be showing you today. Sorry, I'm altering my camera because it's a bit weird. There we go. That's better. But first of all, I had some beautiful happy mail. Now, you know, I wasn't too well at the beginning of the month, but I had two lovely friends who sent me some happy mail that really cheered me up, and I'm just going to show you what they sent me, which is absolutely lovely of them, and it really did the trick, and I am enjoying them right now as I speak because I can see them in front of me, and I'm well, let's have a look and see what I got. Now, these are unpacked because I did unpack them. First of all, look at this guy. Look at him. He is adorable. He is lovely. My friend Rachael Britton, I will leave a link to her YouTube channel. She's a very talented artist, and you need to pop over and see her work because I tell you what, she is such a talented lady. Anyway, she sent me this guy. She found him in, I think he's in a charity shop. Correct me if I'm wrong, Rachael. But she saw him and thought of me. And you can kind of see why, can't you? He's absolutely beautiful. He looks like some kind of wool material. And then he feels like he's stuffed with like a really strong wool, you know, like a wool filling. That's what it feels like. And he's got these feet. Look at those. Look at those feet. They're awesome. And she was really lovely, and I was so happy that she spotted him and sent him off to me. But not only, but also she sent me this beautiful postcard along with, look at that. Now that is from one of my favourite books. It's from a book called The Lost Words by Robert Macfarlane, I do believe. So it's one of my favourite books. There's a couple of books by Robert Macfarlane that I really like, and that's one of them with the illustrations in. And yeah, she sent me this, and she put on the back, "To Tori, I hope you like your new owl friend. Please let me know what you name it." His name? Yes. I haven't given you a name yet, boy, have I? Oh. Okay, I'm going to ask my YouTube friends. YouTube friends, what shall I call this beauteous owl? And whatever name takes my fancy out of what you put, that's going to be his name. So I'm going to let you name him. I hope you enjoy the book too. I've been really liking Maria V. Schneider recently. Lots of love from Rachael. And she sent me a book as well to read. So I think we're very similar in the kinds of things that we like to read. So I think Rachael was onto a winner sending me this one. And I'm really going to get into this one. I've got one on the go at the minute that I'm reading, and this one's my next read. So thank you so much, Rachael. I am absolutely thrilled with this boy, whatever his name will be, and we will let you know. And this lovely book, it was so nice of you to think about me. Thank you so much. The next lovely thing sent by a lovely person was from our Claire. And Claire is a beautiful lady who you can find, if you're in the Discord channel, if you're in Annie Claxton's Arty Farty Discord channel, we all hang out in there. And it's a really lovely place to get to know each other as well. So Claire, knowing that I wasn't very well, sent me a little parcel, and it's beautiful, can I just say. So first of all, let me show you the card. Look at that. Look at that teeny tiny letter stitching. I can't even imagine. That is just so beautiful and precise. And the stitching on here is just gorgeous. It's just lovely. Claire, these are glorious. Thank you so much. Hope you're feeling better soon. Well, I am feeling a lot better now. Thank you so much. Well, I hope you're feeling better. Sending you this little something I made, which made me think of you. Oh, take care and thanks for all your inspiring prompts, ideas and encouragement from Claire. So let me show you. I mean, this is just beautiful. I'm going to frame this. I am going to frame it. It's just lovely. But this is what she sent me. Look at him. Look at him. Sorry, there's a reflection on. Let's see if I can get it so it's not reflected on. Look at that beautiful, tiny little owl. Claire, your stitches are so beautiful and precise and just absolutely glorious. I love this little boy to bits. Look at the little pearl button up there for the moon as well. And all the little satin stitches along the branch and the little stitches to make the leaves. And this one, this is intriguing. That one on his tummy, it looks like a woven stitch. And the little heart. And I love the fact he's got one eye closed and he's otherwise, no, what you doing? What you doing? Isn't that great? I am so lucky to have such lovely friends. I tell you, I've got lots of reflections. Sorry, guys. But I am really, really lucky to have such lovely people. And thank you so much to both of you because you made my days when these arrived. Also, Claire sent me this beautiful bit of owl fabric. This has got to go in the superb owl book somewhere, hasn't it? So this is going to go in that somewhere for sure. But yeah. Thank you very much, Claire. Right, now on to works in progress. One work in progress is something that I'm just doing for fun. It was just something because I wasn't feeling too well. I didn't have a big attention span. And so the bigger tasks I need to do or want to do had to be kind of put to the side for a bit. So the bigger tasks are in the pipework, believe me, but these smaller ones have kept me going. I can't go a day without making something. It's really hard. I didn't have the focus to draw. So what we ended up with was this boy. Oh, so pink. Anyway, I happened upon, because I wasn't doom scrolling specifically, but I was watching, I think it was Instagram. I was watching some Instagram reels, and the one to make one of these pipe cleaner dogs came up. So I was watching it completely enraptured. So I got myself some of the really, really fluffy pipe cleaners. They come in like 1 meter lengths, and that's what you need to make one of these boys here. And if I tell you I sat and watched that video, I can't even tell you how many times I sat and watched it because my adult brain could not quite figure it out. It really couldn't. But I persevered. I mean, the wire was undone probably about, if I say 6, 7 times, I had to undo it and try it again. But perseverance. And yeah, eventually we got this little guy, and I'm really loving him. And I've got some other colours of the pipe cleaner. It's like a chenille, but it's like thicker than a chenille. It's just beautiful. It's real furry and fluffy and very tactile. So I sat and figured out how to eventually do him. His little tail. Put him a little pink bow on as well. So yes, I'm saying a lot. Okay, stop saying Impossible. So yes, I'm going to be making some more of these and see if I can remember how I did it with my brain being as it was. But yeah, there he is. He's got a little nose made out of a brad and 2 smaller brads for eyes. One of the big things I'm going to be doing this year is to create my first proper quilt. Now, I have started another English paper piecing quilt that's hexies. I am going along with that one slowly. This one I think I can cope with because this is going to be joined together by machine, but then hand finished. So I'm hoping that this one will be finished this year. And I'm really keen to do it. So if I can actually find it, it's this one here, which I told you about before. It's the Losing My Marbles quilt. Now, I actually have quite a few of the Cave Facet collection scraps in my stock already. I've also got some charm squares that I bought for something else that need using up. So there won't be exactly these fabrics, but I'm going to try and do the colorways as much as I can in this style. Now, I had a huge boost to my stash because I had a lovely lady contact me and she said, I've got a load of scraps that I'm just buried in. Would you like them? She said a lot of them are going to be from the Free Spirit Collective. Well, she sent me this huge, beautiful bag of scraps. And look at all these glorious colours. I'm not going to take them all out of the bag because I've been through it and kind of colour coded them a bit. But look at them, so many, and it's the biggest bag. And I think I can get an awful lot of scraps, a lot of squares out of those scraps in order to make that. So that's going to be a huge boost to that particular project, because I was kind of thinking which ones I got, which colours I needed, and I was kind of thinking I don't really want to buy any more unless I can help it, because sometimes there are certain things you need. For this quilt, the things I'm going to have to buy is going to be the wadding and also the backing. Potentially I might have something that would work for a backing, but I've got to dig through that. But the backing's far away from my mind at the minute. The main thing I was thinking of was fabrics for the front, and because there are so many beautiful ones in here, I mean, look at those, look at them, so beautiful. I think that's something I could replicate. I think there is a bigger picture of it in the front here that's closer. Look at it, it's just glorious. So yeah. The most important thing to do is to get the front part done and then figure out the rest of it afterwards. So this week's job, hopefully at the end of this week, I'm going to start cutting out all the squares for this. I think there's 200 and, oh gosh, I'm referring back again, 289 squares, and then there's the circles that go on it to make up the marbles. But that's going to be a job for hopefully middle of this week to the end of this week, where I'm going to start cutting out the squares for that. So that's exciting. I'm excited about that. Next thing up is my crochet projects. Now, the scrap yarn hoodie that I'm doing has been kind of pushed to one side, but I am now cracking on with these as well because I want to make my scrap yarn hoodie and wear it. So I am doing more diamonds. It's these kind of shaped diamonds that are all going to get joined together. And these are made in the Chunky Monkey, the Sheepy's Chunky Monkey, but I have got some other like chunkier yarns that I'm using from my scraps. So that is another project that is still ongoing. There is no time limit, end date, so I've not been pushed too much. Sometimes you do need a time scale, don't you? But to be honest, whenever I finish it, it'll be good. But that's a project that I'm doing. It's something you can do really simply. You can do a couple of those in an evening and that won't take too long. All I need to do is to remember to schedule in that into my time scale. The next crochet project that I am doing that you might have seen me show you in the last year, and I know Sharon will be interested in this. Hi Sharon. She keeps saying, how are you getting on with those squares? Well, this is how I'm getting on. So I've got a fair few of these. Now my idea for these, if you've not seen me before or seen the video on what I was doing with these, I want to make a jacket. I want to make a jacket with a hood and sleeves in it. So now I need to lay these out and figure out how I'm going to do this, how I'm going to do it. And I think I want it to be open at the front. I want it to be open at the front, jacket kind of an affair with obviously back sleeves and a hood, hopefully. And I've got, I don't know, probably about 30 of these so far. And it's another one that you just have to keep ploughing away at. And I do enjoy doing these because they're fairly simple. It's basically a circular piece and then you square it off. Now the yarn I'm using for this is, it's Yarn Smith's Lagoon double knitting. It's beautiful variegated yarn, and it is, at the minute, it's on sale at Wool Warehouse. So if you fancied having a go at some of these yourself, then, you know, now's the time to grab hold of some. But yeah, I've got about 8 different colourways in this, but they all go together really well. So what I'm doing is I'm doing the circle from one ball, and then I'm using another ball to do the outside. So that's what's going on with those. So I've got a circle there to finish off, and I will leave that out and probably leave it out, leave it out and finish it off so that I've got another square added into my collection of squares, and that's coming along quite nicely. The next project, work in progress, is my temperature snake. That's another crochet project that I'm doing. This is a really good and simple one to do because I only have to do 20 crochet stitches a day. Hurrah! Hurrah for projects that don't require a lot of time investment, which is something that I'm really looking forward to see him. I know he's grown a fair bit, but I'm looking forward to seeing some of the warmer colours coming in along as well. So this is Jormungandr. This is my snake, my temperature snake. So how I am doing this is, I'll show you my front piece. So I have got some colours. I'm doing this in the Sheepy's Chunky Monkey again. And this one is deep violet. I've used quite a bit of deep violet in that because, to be honest, the range has been in like 2 different areas. It's mainly been in, well, we've had a little bit of ocean. We've had quite a bit of turquoise and quite a bit of deep violet. We haven't actually got down to these temperatures yet. But what I've got is the temperature range going from -2 and down. I don't think that one's going to be used, but you never know. You never know in this country. It could end up there. And then the top temperature is going to be 31 and over. It's going to be the maximum temperature on that day. And I've decided that my place is going to be Newton Abbot. It's not going to change from that. And so it's going to be the maximum temperature in Newton Abbot on those particular days, wherever I am in the world, because it could be anywhere. If I go to Norway, it could throw out all those temperatures completely. So I'm sticking to the one area and working on the maximum temperature from that area. So that's what we're going to do. So yes, Jormungandr is coming along quite nicely now. I brought him into the studio because he needs some polyester filling to go in, because you need to fill him as you go along. Can you imagine you've got a 6-foot snake and you're trying to push polyester filling down into it? I don't think that would be my funnest day, to be honest, trying to do that. So quite rightly, June says stuff as you go. So I need to add some stuffing into you, don't I? So that's Jormungandr coming along nicely. I have been faithfully doing around a day in the colourway prescribed by my chart that I made right up at the beginning. So that's him. Now on to the creature feature. The creature feature is something that I started at the beginning of the year. I made a list of 26 different animals, and I figured out that's like 1 every 2 weeks for the whole of the year. So the first 2 weeks of January were devoted to the animal, the Anteater. Now you may have seen this if you're in my Facebook group. Well, you probably will have seen it if you're in my Facebook group. You might have seen it on Instagram. You might have seen it in the Discord channel. And I have posted a picture that I drew, painted of an anteater. His name is Alvin. And I'll put it up here so that you can see that. And then I thought, okay, so I've done that. I want to make something else. And so I made this. This is Alvin, the anteater. And I'm kind of in love with him. So here's Alvin. He is made from a pattern that is freely available to everybody. It's not my pattern. I found this as I was looking for references for anteaters, and I put it in my my files and thought I need to make him. And the pattern's freely available. I will link it in the description box below if you want to make your own Alvin or anteater. You can call him whatever you like. But I just fell in love. And I made him in a fluffier fabric because he's a giant anteater. And I don't know if they are fluffier, but I made him fluffy. And I have this beautiful kind of like, it said it was a tangerine mohair, but when it came, I don't think it's quite tangerine. It's more of like an apricot-y kind of, I don't know, would you call that tangerine? I'd call it more of an apricot. Anyway, he was made with that. And I kind of made up a lot of bits as I went along because the pattern is fabulous, although not quite as explanatory as a lot of the patterns that you can buy. It is free, you know, it's a free pattern, so I'm not going to complain about that at all. And it is very well described in pictures. So, as I say, I'll leave the link for you if you want to go and have a go at making an anteater. But he's just lovely. So I made him a little crochet scarf and I made him a jacket. And his jacket's made out of Fabworks wool. So all those scraps I got from Fabworks, if you remember that video, he's made out of, well, this is made out of about 3 of those scraps. He's got a little button back on his jacket. He's got a collar. Got a little pocket there. I want to make him something to go in the pocket, but I've not decided what to put in there yet. It is quite a bit of a flaky pocket as well, but hey. And he's got, as I say, a scarf. He doesn't wear trousers because I don't know how he'd figure that one out, but he definitely wears a jacket. It's probably of the Pooh Bear variety where they just cover up their top halves. Who knows? But I just love him. He's got little cute wool felt ears. The pattern didn't have a tail, so I devised a little tail for him because I know giant anteaters do have tails, so I thought he needed a tail. And yeah, I am in love with him. I do fall in love with things so much. I just spend time just stroking him just behind his ears. So that was part of the anteater bit. The next one, and I am now into my badger phase. So I'm just going to grab my piece that I'm making for that, and I'm going to show you a picture that I painted of a badger. So that's going to come up there as well. So this is Bingley Badger, that's his name, and I decided I needed him on something else. And so the something else is this pencil case. We just take that envelope out of it. I just put that in there. So this is Bingley on a pencil case, and I'll go through how I'm putting them together. I got a whole load of these little blanks from Amazon, I want to say. I'm sure it was Amazon. They were like little blank pencil case things, and they were made of a canvas, so I thought that's great. In fact, I made a crocheted one where I crocheted around, and then this sat inside and it was a zippy top. So I've got one of those, and I gave that away to somebody as a Christmas present. So I can't show it to you now, but I'll see if I can find a picture to put in here. But for this one, I thought, okay, I want to put a badger on the front of here. So first of all, what I did was I kind of sketched out the badger shape that I wanted to go on the front. And then I've gone in on his face with stitches. So you can see I still got his eyes and nose to do there yet, but I've kind of got the stitches. They were just in a pearl cotton that I've stitched those in, so they've just been stitched in. Then I thought I wanted to do some fabric for his body, so I've got some Fabworks is coming again for a treat. I've got some beautiful Fabworks wool fabrics, and I'm also going to stitch into those, so you can see they're pinned on with the plique pins onto the front of there. And then I thought, do I want to paint the background? So I tentatively went round with some fabric paints around him there. But then I thought, actually, what I really would like is to use some little scraps on him as well. So I've got the little scrap fabrics all pinned onto here, ready to go. And I'm going to stitch into this and, yeah, just have some fun. But you can see how I've laid them out. I have, in the areas where it's quite close to the body, just gone in with some fabric paint, but I may end up filling those in with fabric or stitch. I don't know yet, I've not decided. But it's one of those projects I've got to get finished now. There is a deadline on this one because there will, at the end of January, be another one on my list, because it's every 2 weeks of this year I'm going to be changing up the animal that I do. That's why it's called the creature feature. And if you go to my YouTube, you're here already. If you go to my Facebook group, in the featured folder, there is a list of all the animals that I'm going to be doing. So if you want to join in, I've had a few people join in. I know Sharon did a beautiful badger, absolutely beautiful, that's been posted onto the Facebook group. It's stunning. And a couple of other people have done some badgers as well. So yeah, it's quite nice if you've got time to do that. You know, it's a lovely thing to have. I've just decided that I am multi-craftual. That's a name I'm giving to myself. If I could focus myself in one area, I don't know, I can't allow myself to do that because there's so many things that I want to make and do. And I'd probably be a lot richer for the fact if I could just focus into one thing, but I can't. So I like art, I like craft, I like abstract, I like realism. Not too much of a realism, but I kind of like used a picture of a real badger in order to get this down. But I like to mix things up. How many of you are the same? Drop me a line in the description box if you feel you're swamped with different things. And sometimes it does get a bit confusing in my brain, but I don't think I could function unless I had all the different things that I do on the go. Because once I get, you know, I've had enough of one thing, then I can move on to another thing. And having lots of things where I've got a short thing to do really works for my brain for some reason. But, you know, this is why I do my little collages in the morning. This is why I enjoy doing these. These kind of things build me up for the bigger things. So anyway, I'm waffling. So there he is. That's Bingley the badger. He's going to be on this pencil case. Now, I've not decided what to do for the back yet. And I'm also going to do a lining for this. So it's going to be lined with a fabric and just slotted inside and then stitched on, because it's already made into a pencil case already. Or some kind of a case. It doesn't have to be a pencil case. It could be a project case or a makeup case or whatever you want it to be a case for. Anyway, there he is. That's the creature feature part, and that's Bingley Badger. The next thing that's coming up, and I need to mention it here, is Abstractuary. Abstractuary takes place from the 1st of February to the 28th of February. There is a prompt for every day. And there is also a Pinterest board. And for each of the prompts, there is a separate little section within that board that you can go to and get some ideas from. I know a few people are looking forward to this because I did it last year and they joined in with me last year and we had an absolute blast, and hopefully I am showing you all the pieces that I made in a video pretty soon. If I can find the video, I will upload this as well. Yeah, absolute blast. There's lots of different prompts for different things. You can do it as big or as small as you want it to be. You can do it in whatever media you want to work with. You can do it as, I don't know, you could do stitch pieces if you wanted. You could use your pencils, you could use your paints. Grab out anything that you enjoy using, or something maybe that you've never used before and you want to try. Go as big or as small. I'm going small because I think that's my way of dealing with things. You could do a bigger piece and then just try and add, you could have a little big sheet of paper, and for each of the squares you could make 28 squares, and in each one try and do the prompt in that. That's one way of doing it if you wanted to do it a simple way. I know the lovely Kerry, who did this with me last year, she's made a journal already to do hers in. So that's another way to go. So if you want to get yourself a separate journal for Abstractuary, that is absolutely down to you and what you want to do and how you want to work with it. But it's really fun. It opens up your eyes to different kinds of ways of working. And I always feel that art feeds into my textile. So my art feeds into my textile work. So the piece of artwork I did for Bingley the Badger then made me want to do a piece of textile work as well. So for me, they go hand in hand. They're kind of interlinked. And it's a good way to learn about different techniques. So if you're up for that, it's Abstractuary. It starts on the 1st of February. There is prompts I'm going to put up here, but they're also available on Instagram and in my Facebook group so that you can join in. You don't have to join in with all of them. You could join in with just a few of them. Just pick the ones you want to do. There are no prompt police, as I quite often say. There's nobody going to come around and check to make sure. This is just purely for you if you want to join in. And that's me. I've finished now. I've got a load of other side quests that I'm doing like these guys. But that's some of my big main projects that I'm doing. So I hope you've enjoyed this catch-up session. So that you can see where I'm up to, and obviously I'm going to have loads of other things to show you along the way. So please do if you've enjoyed having a look, consider subscribing. I will do my happy dance as I do, and then if you click the bell you'll get to know every time I upload to the channel. That's enough from me. I will be back here very soon with something else. Bye for now.